Hi, I'm Shane. I was just in here looking through some of my old sketchbooks. If you're just learning, uh, I know that there are periods of time where it's really frustrating. And I had long periods of time where I felt like I was spinning my wheels, not going anywhere. For the most part, my progress was kind of slow and steady. But there would be times when I would make a particular drawing or painting that it felt like I had leveled up. And I kind of consider those to be milestones because they were drawings or paintings that sent me off in a new direction with my work, or I felt like I was brought up to the next level. And it kind of seemed to come out of nowhere. Sometimes you could see the progress from one to the next. I was reminded about when I was a student. I was in my first painting class. The professor was going around and looking at paintings, and I remember him telling us that it was a good idea to hang on to some of our older work, and especially while we're learning, so that we can track our progress. I know if you're making a lot of artwork, it's kind of hard to do that, especially if you're making paintings on canvas or panels, to have to keep buying those and storing them somewhere. It can add to the clutter plus the expense of it. If nothing else, you can take a picture of it, and that way you'll have that record. So I haven't kept everything that I've ever made. Uh, I've thrown a lot of it away, painted over some of it. Some of it I had photographed, and they were digital files on a computer, and the computer crashed, and I wasn't able to recover them. Some of them were damaged and destroyed due to being in a storage building that had a leaky roof. I've sold some also, but I do still have a lot. So I wanted to go back through some of my older artwork and show my progress through the years. I used to draw a lot when I was a child, but so far as I know, only one of those drawings survived. My parents might still have some in a box in the attic or something, but I had this one drawing that my grandmother saved that I made when I was 4 years old. And so far as I know, that's all I have left. As far as my teenage years go, I didn't draw a whole lot back then, but I didn't get really serious until I was in my early 20s when I started at the university. And so most of what I have begins at that point. And you can kind of see over the years how I developed my own style. It wasn't something that I had an intention on, it was just something that naturally happened as I made art over the years. This is one of the charcoal drawings I made my first semester in art school. We had to draw hands back then. This particular hand drawing was the best one of the many drawings I made in that class. And this is an ink drawing from the same class. I remember my first week in drawing class, my professor was walking around looking at drawings, and he told me, "You have no idea what you're doing." When I look at these drawings, I think maybe he was right. Later, at my mid-semester review, he told me I should consider changing majors because he didn't think art was working out for me. I don't know, maybe he said that to everyone as a way of weeding out the less than serious students. But the whole reason I was there was to learn art, and at that time there wasn't anything else that I wanted to do. That drawing class started at 7:30 in the morning, and most days I was the first one there ready to go because I was determined. And what I lacked in quality back then, I made up for in quantity. I drew all the time. And with all that drawing practice and focus, I slowly started to catch up. This is a still life I painted in my first painting class. A self-portrait. This is 1992. The eye isn't right, and my 21-year-old self recognized that and noted it here. Now this smudgy drawing here is the beginning of a transition for me. I'm starting to figure some things out, but still not quite there yet. Now this one here is one that I consider to be a milestone drawing. I feel like I leveled up with this drawing. I don't remember what I was thinking when I made it. It kind of reminds me of a tattoo or a decal you might see on the side of a hot rod. It's kind of funny that I made it in my sketchbook because I never took my sketchbook too seriously. Maybe that's why I was able to jump out and do something I wouldn't normally do. After that, I made this drawing. It's a different subject but similar sensibilities. And these 3 drawings were made within a couple of days of each other. This led to others like them, drawing with pencil. And here I'm starting in my first life drawing class, drawing the model. These are some quick ink sketches I made of a dead fish I found while I was walking by the lake. I actually like these a lot. I like the craziness of the marks and the brown ink. Here's some more life drawing with ink. When I was in school, I never really liked painting that much, and so I didn't learn that much because I wasn't interested. But 3 or 4 years after I got out of school, I decided to pick it up again. And I taught myself painting over the next year or so. I painted mostly still lifes. But then I painted this, and this was another one of those milestone artworks. It led to more than 10 years of making paintings and consistently showing my work in galleries. This painting right here is another big shift in my work. It was bigger than the other paintings I'd made. It measured about 5 feet by about 2 or 3 feet. With this one, I was incorporating a lot more fine details into my work. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.